Here's why I buy lottery tickets and why that should impact whether or not you choose to go for investment banking. Let's look at the numbers. All right, so a ticket costs about $2 in New York, depending on which game you play. Let's say the winning's 100 million on average, okay? I would play this game. Now the question is, why would Mark Ross, somebody who's very analytically minded, a financial engineer, why would he choose to play a game like this? Well, let's look at the numbers. Your take home is roughly $30 million. When you take into account the fact that you get taxed for like half of your winnings, and then if you take a lump sum, a bunch of that gets cut off. Let's say it's 30 million. It's actually probably less, but let's say about $30 million is your take home. Well, the odds of winning, it says straight on the ticket, the odds of hitting the jackpot purely based on just looking at the amount of numbers there are in your probabilities of hitting the jackpot is 1 in 175 million. This is not taking into account that there might be multiple winners of the jackpot or other winners for other levels of prizes. We're going to take all of that out of consideration and assume you would be the sole winner of the jackpot. Also, yeah, okay, let's leave it like that, all right? Given that, you would have a 0.00000057% chance of winning. What does that mean? Well, if you multiply these together, you get an expected value for the single ticket that you purchased of 17 cents. How much are you paying for it? $2. So your profit roughly on each ticket is $1, negative $1.83. Sounds like a pretty poor choice. But wait, there's more. So, like, why would I do this? Especially when the winning numbers go up and the value goes up and I start buying multiple tickets, the odds aren't getting much better because other people are buying tickets also, so there are probably multiple winners that are going to come. But there's something we're not taking into account here, and that is the fun factor. I literally buy lottery tickets because it's fun, because I get a thrill of it, because I start thinking, whoa, what if? And that makes it fun. It's not about the winning. Like, I know I'm not going to win, but there's that like itty bitty chance which gets you all creative, and it's fun to imagine things, right? That fun factor, let's say that's worth $2, which it probably is, because that's just what I'm basically burning to play this game. Well, if you do the math now, the numbers change. Now I'm actually in the green. If that's worth $2 worth of fun for me, well, I spent $2 on the ticket, I got back $2 of fun, and I got back my 17 cents in expectation for winning. So I actually made 17 cents profit on buying the ticket. Theoretical money, but still. This is why I play the lottery. So what does this have to do with investment banking or careers in general? I'll tell you exactly why. Because you need to be making a chart like this, and you need to be factoring in everything down to fun to figure out what's right for you. The problem with so many people choosing their careers is they hear from their neighbor, oh, my son's making $400,000 a year and he's only been in banking for 4 years. You're like, whoa, that's a crazy amount of money, life-changing. I'm going to go for that. But have you considered all the factors? So let's hop right into it and do a basic side-by-side. And I want you to do this in your Excel. You fill in the numbers the way you feel, and the outcome might surprise you. I'll do one example so you get a sense of how this works. Salary, investment banking. There's nothing like it in banking. Maybe at the more senior levels, but as an analyst, it pays the best, hands down. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. That's the rank I give it. Okay? Hours. Well, the hours are notoriously awful. You could easily work 100 hours of work a week in banking. It's the worst from all jobs in finance. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10. Barriers to entry. Horrible. If you are not in an Ivy League school and you don't have 2 years relevant work experience and like everything didn't line up perfectly and you're not well connected and you're not good looking and you're not well spoken and you're not an American born citizen, or like all these crazy things have to line up for you to get a shot at an interview. Awful barriers to entry. I'm going to give this a 1 out of 10. Skill alignment. Okay, well, what this means is, are the skills that you're good at or you enjoy doing, do those align well with the job? Okay, let's think about it. You love coding in Python. Bankers do not code. All right, so that's a miss. You do like company valuations, and that's a core part of the job. Major hit. You like making PowerPoint presentations. Success. So you need to like put all this together and figure out what kind of a match it is in terms of both your skill set as well as how much you enjoy doing the job. Let's say I give myself a 7 out of 10 for skill alignment. Okay, location. I want to work in New York. I want to live in New York. I want to be in like the center location. This is where I want. Bam, 10 out of 10. Exit opportunities. Well, they're really, really good. I don't know that they're the best. Let's say it's a 9 out of 10. Now we have the rankings for each of these individual categories. And now I need to do is forget about the rankings entirely and just think in terms of my own personal feelings, how important are those categories to me? Salary. Everyone says salary is extremely important. Now what I want you to do for these weights is I want you to make sure that they add up to 100. So you'll have to finagle the numbers a little, but that's okay. Let's say salary, it's so important. I'm going to say we'll start with 40 out of 100, which is a big weight. Hours, you know, you ask most junior people, they say, oh, we don't care about hours. But if they did for a year, they worked 100 hours a day, they would be completely stressed out and exhausted and have no social life. Not great. Let's say we give it a 20. Barriers to entry. Now, you need to think, most people are like, oh, I don't care at all about barriers to entry. I'm going to work hard. Well, what I want you to think about is, would you be willing for 18 months straight to not have a job and to spend 10 to 15 hours a day networking, interviewing, redoing your resume again and again and again, just sheer exhaustion for a year and a half to 2 years just to get the entry-level role? If you would be willing to do that, honestly, then barriers to entry is not such a concern. But if you're expecting a job within the next month or two, like there has to be that balance. Would you pay a career coach $25,000? Let's say you find the most expensive coach out there, 25 grand to help you in 2 months land a banking job? If yes, barriers to entry is not so important to you. You really need to consider how much you're willing to exhaust this. I think to most people, it's a lot more important than they think. Let's give it a 15. Skill alignment, you're okay. Just do it. You know, salary, hours, those are more important to you than skills. Let's give it a 5. Location, you really do care. New York's important, but like whatever, let's be realistic. You get this amazing job. You don't care if you have to relocate. If you had family here, location would be very important. If your parents lived here and you know you have 3 kids and they're in school, location would be really, really important, but it's not. So we'll give it a 5. Exit opportunities. Okay, we're at 85. I'm not going to give it 15. I don't think it's that important. So I'm going to give it a 5, and I'm going to add 5 more to hours, let's say, and 5 more to barriers to entry. Okay, so I have my weights, which is not about rank. It's purely about how I personally feel. Now I looked at the product of rank and weight. This is literally multiplying these 2 cells, and I sum up these numbers. Investment banking for me, in my personal weight, where I gave salary a weight of 40 out of everything else, which is a pretty high number, it's a 57.5 on the scale. Okay, let's see how something else goes. Let's say a reporting analyst job, where an associate 1 investment banker might make $250,000 a year, and a reporting analyst might make $125,000. A lot less, okay? So the salary, let's say 6 out of 10. It's so, you know, let's say 6.5 out of 10. I think it's more realistic because it is a, oh, can I not do that? All right, we're going to do 6 out of 10. I'm going to be fair. Hours, great. It's like a 9 to 5 job. Maybe an hour, I'm going to give this 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Let's say as far as finance jobs goes, it's 10 out of 10. Barriers to entry, very low for finance, which means we give it a high ranking. I'll say 8 out of 10. I think it's more like 9 out of 10. Skill alignment. Okay, well, if you like coding, reporting analyst could be very good to you. Let's say everything matches up pretty well. I don't know. For me personally, I love reporting. I love data. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I'll say 8 out of 10, whatever you want, right? Location, same thing. I mean, it depends on the job, where the job is. I'll just say 10 out of 10. I have no idea. Let's say the job's in New York also. Exit opportunities for reporting analysts. Well, it depends. If you want to be in a similar thing, I don't think the exit opportunities are as lavish or as good as investment banking. I'll say 7 out of 10. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the weights from here because my feelings haven't changed about these categories. And I'm going to copy and paste them as values here. And reporting analyst for me has a score of 80, which blows banking out of the water. Now, if you want to say to me, well, Mark, you clearly were massaging the number, like, you tell me where I wasn't honest here. But let's say I wasn't. Let's say the salary for a reporting analyst is 0.5. You know, you can keep lowering it. Let's say it's 0.4, which of course it's not. You're making over $100,000 a year. It still smashes banking. This is why I'm such an advocate to stop trying to get into banking if you haven't already lined up. Like, you're already a year or two into your career, or you haven't found the job for a year, you're still trying to get into banking. I advocate so hard for people not to do it, because I know that if they did this analysis, they would find that they actually don't want to do investment banking. But I lose, because people get so caught up in the money, they don't think about the big picture. Anyhow, here's my point. Line up not just 2, line up 10 different jobs. Do this analysis. Keep the weight consistent. You don't even need to have it in the same table. What you can do is you can literally like put the weight over here on the side somewhere and label them. So like I can call this thing, I can come here and say salary weight. And I could do this for each of these cells and then just reference it in the product. So it'll only be a 2-column thing. However you want to do it. You could just do it like this. It's fine. Whatever works better for you. Do this for 10 jobs and pick the top 2 that give you the highest score. Go after those. Stop targeting every single job in the world. That's ridiculous. You won't be able to curate your skill set. Your resume will look like a mess. Focus, but don't just focus on the jobs that you're dreaming of because they pay so well and you're going to wear a fancy suit. Be realistic. You also have to think about barriers to entry and these other things. Different type of video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you have any comments, if you disagree with me, if you think I'm awful and investment banking is God's gift to mankind, and anything else, please let me know, and I'll see you guys next week.